Hello, and welcome to another week of the Xbox North podcast. This is episode 8, and the whole family has returned. This week, we're talking about Xscreen, Parental Controls, Obsidian, Valve's new Steam Deck, and Sony. Before we start, if you liked the video and if you liked our podcast and you're watching us on our YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page and hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment down. We're always going to read our comments. If you want to find us on audio only, you can also find us on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. We're also on Reddit, Instagram. Look up Xbox North Podcast. For Twitter, at North Xbox. So let's start with introductions. We've got a great week of episode podcast stuff to talk about. I'm always having a good time to talk about this, and I'm happy everyone's back. Starting with the guy that wasn't here last week, Jesse Dean, JD Pro 2015. Jay, how's it going, man?
Welcome good. Back. How are you guys? Thank you so much. I'm good.
Yeah. What's been going on for you, man? I'm good.
Well, just been changing around some things, so my schedule completely changed. So I've had to kind of kick back a little bit and take care of those things and just get acclimated to the new days and stuff like that. And in terms of the streaming, yeah, we'll be back Monday with a new schedule probably, and hinting at a new game. We're gonna try Red Dead Online because I'm getting into it right now, and so far it's pretty cool, and I think it'd be interesting to kind of stream that. So looking forward.
Is that on Game Pass?
Join you.
Red Dead Online?
I don't know. I purchased that game a long time ago.
Okay.
The online, just the version. Online version. Yeah. It's on Game Pass now. Yeah.
Cool.
That would be good.
Maybe I'll saddle up with you.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. Yeah, it's so fun.
That I'll hop on too.
Yeah. The game world. They are just masters at creating game worlds. They are. Their worlds are so realistic. You know. I love it.
There's moments in that game where you're like, where the sun is like shining through the trees, and it's just either setting, and the fog is coming in, and it's done so well. Like it looks so realistic at points where you're just like going down a path, and you're looking at the game, and you're like, there's a moment where you're just like, oh, I'm just looking at a picture. No, it's a game, and that's on Xbox One. So talk about a company who really knows how to use all of what the console is capable of. And the exciting thing about them making GTA 6 is it's going to be like 4 years into this console life cycle. Ooh, that game's gonna. Oh my
God.
It
isn't optimized. It's just it's here in the Xbox One X enhanced games section.
It's just a beautiful game. Yeah,
I would love to see that.
Remarkable.
Have you guys all beaten the game? Have you guys all beaten the campaign?
No.
Jesse,
I did.
Please beat
not
that
even
campaign.
Close.
Beautiful campaign.
That's good.
Well, it is one of the best Rockstar campaigns.
Working on it. Yeah.
It's very touching. I'll say. That's all I'll say. Just very touching. If you like the original Red Dead and you love the campaign of that, Red Dead Redemption 2, just as beautiful.
I'd probably say I think last time it said I was about 30% complete. I think.
Yeah, there's an area on the map they just don't utilize at all in the story mode, but I won't spoil it.
Yeah, that's true. That is yeah. Well, they could be using it for maybe an expansion pack coming down the line, but no, it's great.
That.
Yeah,
I don't make them too much
online.
Money.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back and coming today for this podcast. Also with me is my boy Dan Robertson. Dan, how's it going? Thank you as always. Setting up these podcasts, making running the operations for us. How you been doing? What's going on with you lately?
Pretty good. I've been frustrating my way through Doom.
Okay.
I got to a point now, it just ramped up super hard. Yep. Like instead of just smaller groups and like one big guy, it's just like a big guy, then several smaller guys, then several more smaller guys, and then another big guy, and then
Marauder?
3 big guys.
Is it the Marauder? Yeah. Is it the sword guy with the dogs that come with
Marauder too? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's the ramp
so many
up
of them.
There.
Yeah. And it's the archdemon I'm fighting right now too. I just started to get to him,
Yeah.
And so now he's like, yeah, no, you leave him for too long, and he just spawns a whole bunch of other superpowered dudes.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
just
Funny,
brutal.
I was just playing that. That's before I started.
Yeah.
I went on Discord. I was playing that. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
a hard game. I think it's a hard game. I beat it on
Yeah.
normal, and it took me forever. I can only like do one level a day, but
Yeah.
because yeah.
Oh,
Same,
man.
that's what I
It
try
took
and
me
do.
a couple of days for one level. Oh man,
Yeah.
that
No,
game's
I
intense.
actually, you know what? I don't blame you. There were times where I was stuck in that game, and it's a long campaign. It's not like some sort of 10, 12-hour campaign. I think it's like 15 or 16 hours. I remember
No,
being.
it's decent length.
It's a
for sure.
pretty. It's a.
Trying to get quicker on that BFG draw so that I can just like
Oh yeah,
wipe out a bunch of big guys. I died like 5 times in a row just fighting like 3 big guys at once, and I was just about to pull it out and fire.
yeah.
Did you
It's amazing.
customize your controller layout?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That helped a
Nice.
huge amount.
Oh, big time. That's
Yeah.
thanks to Josh. He told me to do that, and
Yeah.
and because it's completely customizable. So
Yeah.
it's great. I love it.
That left bumper jump. Well, I
Yep.
mean, yeah. Well, and then finally going to the man who tells us how to do our control layout and helps us like win
I'm a
these
little
games.
crazy about that.
No, but you know what? When you did that, it made Destiny a lot more easier for me. It made Halo a lot more easier for me, and actually Doom because of the A button. But yeah, Josh, how's it
I
going?
know.
Yeah, it's so true. But Josh, how you doing, man? Thank you as always coming here and always helping with this podcast. You're my main hand.
Always.
Yeah.
It's been going good. Had a bit of a frustrating week in the sense that I got a sweet new laptop and got it all set up. I was very satisfied, and then decided to be like, you know what? I didn't check the webcam. Let's check that out. The webcam didn't work, and now I'm in the process of getting it replaced, and the replacement is taking longer than the initial order. So that's always been fantastic. So besides that frustration, just going through Doom like Dan.
Nice.
I have about 2 levels left, and that game is hard.
Yeah.
That game is definitely a challenging first-person shooter, considering that more modern first-person shooters really drive in you to get behind cover, kind of work your way through. This game is just like, no, you're acrobating, you're jumping off this pole, you're double jumping over here, you're dashing up this thing, you're going up the ramp, you see that guy is able to, get the execution kill. You literally like dive into like a crowd of demons just to like murder him.
I've had so many times doing that too.
The game is very, very cool. It has very cool mechanics, but it is fast. It is fast, and
every time I feel like I'm getting really good at it, it just like it gets so much harder.
Yeah, man, those marauders, like when that guy came through the portal and popped out his like axe sword and just like looks at you and you start fighting him, and you're just fighting one guy too in that scene, and he's so hard, and then they start throwing him at you with a bunch of other guys, and like
it's unfair. It's unfair.
It's but when you get the sword, that's a pretty cool moment. So enjoy that.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah.
I'm on my journey for it.
Yeah, cutting people in half. But man, I really like there's a sense of like you're always following something. Like before you fought that boss with the shield around him, you like followed his corpse being made into like that demon, and they put him on the vehicle. Or near the end when you're in hell, you're following human bodies to like the corpse machine. Like in
It's
hell.
pretty cool.
It's such a wild
It gets very
ride.
dark. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. That game is so like unapologetic. It's just like demonic technology and just skulls and brimstone. And death metal. Like I'm surprised there's not a room on I'm surprised there's not a room on the kind of hub world where it just has like Slayer just like playing like live or something. The game is so cool.
Yeah. It's no, you go ahead.
Everything's good. But Andrew, yourself.
Okay.
What are you up to?
Well, I think I wrote it in the notes, but I actually really do mean this. I need an intervention, guys. I know usually the person that is having the issues should not be saying I need an intervention. Maybe you guys should be giving an intervention, but
Andrew,
yeah,
you need an intervention.
Thank you. I've been only playing MLB The Show a lot, and I need to get out of that fucking game. It's ridiculous. I'm just constantly using some of the microtransactions in that game, and I'm buying like Sean Green of like and like the things, the era. I don't know why. It's just the weirdest thing is that I think the games creators and MLB, the publisher for the Xbox version, they made the smartest decision because that game is so monetizable with they have all these like this in-game currency where it's like the player that you want to buy that maybe you grew up as a kid and he like you can buy him for like 50,000 credits, or you're playing a ton and you're grinding, and I'm just like, and I don't know what it is, but maybe it's one of those things where it's like you're playing this game so many times and you're just like, you forget about playing all the other games that you have on Game Pass. Like, I'm only playing a little bit of Plague's Tales, and I'm enjoying every moment of it, but I'm also going like, why am I playing too much of this show, which I'm getting frustrated about?
It's comfort food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all have that?
It's your gaming comfort food. Yeah, like mine's like Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go back to that whenever.
Yeah.
The Witcher 3.
Start playing that. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep. I keep going back to No Man's Sky.
Yeah, you do play No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
You've been playing that since its launch.
Oh, it's such a good game.
I got it at launch on my PC, and I just like there's a lot of people returning it because it wasn't quite what they expected and everything. But I saw a decent amount of potential there.
Yeah.
So I kept it anyways, and I haven't regretted it at all.
No. Yeah. It is amazing. It is an amazing game.
Yeah. No, I'm impressed.
I get to use it for VR. I get to use it for my Xbox. I get to use it because it's on Game Pass now too, so I can use it on like all of my devices.
Is it cross save?
It's cross save on
Xbox and PC.
No, not on Xbox and PC. I think. No, I was thinking.
Or is it cross save now?
No, sorry. I think it's cross save on PC if you're downloading it through the Microsoft Store.
Okay.
But I have it on Steam.
Yeah.
Because I got it originally on Steam.
I wonder if it's on Game Pass for PC. So you might have it there.
Maybe.
But does it allow? I'm curious if it would allow you to use VR on the PC version through Game Pass or even through the Microsoft Store. Is it just built into the menu?
Yeah, it's on PC for No Man's Sky as well. Yeah, it is on PC for No Man's Sky. Game Pass.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm hoping maybe when the Ascent happens or some sort of multiplayer game, you guys get me out of this. You guys just pull me out of this MLB. Let's do a 4-player co-op of. I think it's 4-player. The Ascent.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Start flying. Let's do in Flight Simulator. Is it in like Flight Simulator like next week or something?
Yeah, it's the day after the Ascent. It's right. We're gonna have a pretty good week at the end of the month. The Ascent.
Isn't
and then
it's not okay.
Yeah, no, it should be. Yeah, that was what it was at July 27th and 28th. So it's a pretty good month, I think, when we're about to get, and then August will be a lot of stuff. But
what are you gonna play? Like I want to play both. That's
my only thing. I was just like, I want to play both, but maybe I think Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to be not like a game playing experience where I'm doing like objective stuff. I'm probably going to do it in a therapeutic way. It might just be me, but that game looks like it's not a gaming experience. It looks like just a completely different out of our body experience. I know I'm getting all philosophical about a video game, but we are in an Xbox.
I agree.
Podcast,
But outer body experience. I'd imagine like when you're playing it on VR, that's like an outer body experience probably right there because you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But it will be. I feel like that game compared to the Ascent, where the Ascent we will be playing for hours. Like I hope it has a very compelling story, good loot grind.
Yep.
Where Flight Simulator will be like, let's fly over Toronto and see it.
And then, you know what I mean?
And then
you want to jump on.
And you're like, oh, my data.
Yeah. Are there any destinations you guys want to check out if you guys were to go? A Flight Simulator?
Egypt.
everywhere.
I'd like to fly. I'd like to fly over to Egypt.
I was
check
just
out the
gonna say
pyramids.
that. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
See how tall Everest is.
Yeah.
I'm for sure gonna make sure my mom watches, but I'm gonna try to do Sri Lanka just because I haven't been there in like almost since I was like 6 years old. My mom hasn't been there since 25, 26 years.
About landing near Everest, I was talking to a coworker who has the game on PC and was saying that it's really cool to land. Like there's a airport in Nepal where you need a special license just to land there. So not many people have actually landed there because they don't have the license. And here we are. We're going to be able to virtually just land there. And I think that's going to be great because that's exactly where I want to go, right? It is virtual, right? But it's still really, really cool to see those places. It's going to be fun.
That's amazing.
Fly over New York City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Or
like Hong Kong or something.
Yep.
Some really dense city.
Yeah, Tokyo at nighttime.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That'd be cool.
Because I heard they kind of arcade the controllers a bit, like a scheme.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they simplify it definitely for console.
Yeah.
Considering you're going from a cockpit that has like hundreds of like switches and things to a controller. But you know what? Keys. There's a very cool
controller thing. There's like what
company? They're known for making headphones mostly.
Not Cat. No, I want to say.
Isn't it Astros or something?
Astrolab? No. No.
But there's a really cool peripheral coming out for Xbox Series X and PC as well. And it's the full the full steering wheel for it with the pedals and like the adjuster on the side and and it actually has a little screen in the middle of the steering wheel.
Pretty cool.
It's
cool.
outrageous.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're going all out. I'm telling you guys.
Speaking of like peripherals, did you guys see the Kickstarter for the Xscreen?
Oh man!
So
cool.
segue time right there.
Perfect segue. I kind of secretly wish I owned a Series S. We have a mutual friend, a coworker, exactly. Both me and Jesse, who has a Series S, and he was talking about it, and he does watch the podcast, and I was just like, "This is beautiful. This is adorable. It's like the perfect little thing for the Series S." And I think the price is around. It's I believe it's an Australian developer that's making it, an Australian manufacturer. It's around like $280. But I think it's completely worth it. It's portable. It's fun. It almost feels like a laptop gaming experience, but you've got your you've got next gen gaming on the go pretty much. I think it's phenomenal.
Right. I would love to see something come out a little even like cheaper if they can. Maybe even shrink the screen a little bit if they can. Because that console plus attaching it and giving it to a kid and sitting in bed, like that's awesome, man. I had that when I was a kid. Oh my god! Reminds me of the little screen you put on the PlayStation 1. Remember the PlayStation?
PlayStation 1. That's it. Yeah,
the little mini console with the little screen you can plug on the back.
Yeah,
it was like that, but like for that you were literally like because the screen was like the size of your phone, right?
Yeah,
but this is like what, 11-inch screen or something. It's pretty substantial from what I saw in the
resolution.
Did you see it? 1080p.
Yeah,
okay.
1080.
Wow.
I mean, it's perfect for the Series
60 hertz.
Yeah. It does play 60 hertz, which is perfect because it just does all that stuff.
Jess, if you didn't see it, it plugs onto the back of the Series. It folds it. Yeah. But it's so flush with the console that it's like a little like laptop. It's so cool. I think it's so cool.
A nice little add-on.
Yeah. What was it? I think
the only thing you still have to do is is it battery operated or you still have to plug it in?
You still got to plug it in.
Still got to
plug it in. Yeah.
But it's an easy way to not have to carry around a screen or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
unless you use an xCloud.
Yeah, it's. I will say it's the perfect backpack to have. You know what I mean with the Series S. Like if you're on a travel and you're on the go and you're going to.
That's right.
It's the
you do something like that to have like a LAN party or whatever. Make it easy.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
how much?
That's what I always wanted.
How much power does it need? Like, I'm curious if you could probably even run it off one of those heavy duty charge bricks, right?
That's what I was saying. Like
Well,
it
I
could
think it even actually connects to internal power, and it's power pass through. So it's
The
actually
screen
connected to one of the
Really?
and so you just plug it in the console.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I was
hoping
more
it's
so curious how much power the console takes to power it, because I'm curious if you could carry around just like a little like power
You
pack
get the portable
do for
like the little car battery power packs that you can just plug
yeah,
into.
probably need a more heavy duty one for a console, but camping, that thing would be dope for camping.
Yeah, just get
Yeah,
a
it would
power
be.
generator or something. I don't know.
Throw up a hotspot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
right? You're like, oh man, I needed to raid tonight in Destiny. It's like, you're camping with the children. Like, stop. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a little rough over a hotspot, but especially in the woods.
I have to say, I think the more and more I see more stuff about the Series S, I remember being kind of put off by it, but I'm just like, that is a phenomenal device.
Yeah.
For
It's way
$300.
smaller than I expected it to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. It's like you can take it with you in your backpack or like a little, like a laptop case kind of thing. It's just like you're good to go with it with one controller. It's the best. It's an amazing little portable device. Actually, it's not portable, but I think that it just tells me more about that Series S. It's like the best little thing. It's the best entry point for like next gen gaming with that price, what it offers. I mean, yeah. No,
and it turns it into a little portable device. Like, it'd be even cool if they sell like, because there's a little space in the back.
Yeah.
Where they let you plug in the power cord and put in the memory card slot. It'd be funny if they sold like a battery pack that slams into that like little slot and just can. And he's like, no, now it's truly portable. But yeah, no, and it's a little feel good story, right? It's a small company in Australia. Their little project, well, not little project now, right? But their Kickstarter got funded in 20 minutes. Like,
wow,
good for them, man.
And I think they only wanted like 12. Like, what was it? Their goal was originally 12,000. And they got like 124,000. Like that's what it says. So they've got like at least 10 times what they needed. Like, and it was in 20 minutes. They got full funding. So good for them. You know what I mean? You always want a good feel good story. Talking more about things going portable. You guys heard about Valve's Steam Deck? This is really cool. They've got Valve just recently announced their own little portable handheld device. It's called the Steam Deck. This is no like Switch. This is a powerful device. This is practically a portable PC. This is literally a portable PC. Now let me read this. This device has an AMD APU containing a quad-core Zen 2 CPU with 8 threads and 8 computing units worth of AMD RDNA 2 graphics, alongside 16 gigs of RAM. There's 3 storage devices. There's a 64 gig one. That's the first one that starts at $399. There's a 256 one that starts at $529, and then there's a 512 one that's about $649. Also, you can also get expandable you can get a micro SD card slot to expand the storage as well. This is phenomenal. This is a really cool little thing. I think if you are if you have a lot of Steam games and you want something kind of portable, this is great. Like my bro plays a lot of Steam games. He buys a ton, especially when they're on sale. I think I don't know if this is going to beat the Switch because I think maybe the price point might be a little bit high, but I think this is pretty cool. What do you guys think? Yeah, Dan or John?
I think they're going to do at least semi well because there's so many people who have such a big library on Steam already and everything.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to kind of cash in on that, as in like you buy the console and you're not buying and starting to build up your like game library and everything. You can just start out immediately with it, kind of like Game Pass and everything. It's like you buy a console, you get Game Pass, just there's a subscription of that when you've already got a library full of stuff, so you're not paying anything extra. So you do save a little bit of money, I guess, that way on the cost of the console.
Yeah.
And it is running on its own operating system.
Yep. Not a
So
Microsoft.
it'll
Yeah.
be
Valve's
yeah.
own OS.
So it's
That's a
mostly just going to
Linux
be for the
base.
games.
Yeah.
Mostly just going to be the games that you play on Steam and everything, and then like as long as they're capable of running on it, because it won't be able to handle super high-end games. I mean, it's still a portable device, but
what
And
I think
it
what
does
it's.
it have?
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Is it using any cloud features at all, or?
I don't think
I
so.
didn't really see. I don't think they've released too much information on that.
No. They
I
just
mean,
announced the hardware pretty much, and
Yeah.
that it's running on a SteamOS Linux-based system. But they do very much emphasize in all the IGN first that they were doing with Ryan McCaffrey. They do emphasize that it's a PC. They are stressing that this is a PC. It's open source. If you want to switch out the operating system completely to Windows, you are allowed to do that. So that's actually pretty interesting. Also, the high-end version, the 649 version, also has an anti-glare screen. On it as well. So, but talk about like eating Nintendo's like lunch like a week after. Like, okay, Nintendo, you announce like a 5-year-old system with no upgrades and just a better
goddamn
screen.
screen.
And for $50 more at $350. So okay, we'll be $50 more than that, but we are a legit RDNA 4, Zen 2 CPU with 16 gigs of RAM. They just totally like showed them what they could do, and for $399, that's a competitive price. Even Gabe Newell was saying getting that price point was tough, but I think they did it with sacrificing the screen resolution being 720p.
Yeah. My only thing is that I didn't like the controls that much, but maybe I haven't tried it myself because there is a bit of like they do have like something that's like a touch screen element to like make sure it's like you have a mouse. So if you are playing some like certain games that are like more mouse focused, like a potential Age of Empires 4 that I want to play, that's where I'm like looking at it going like this might be pretty cool, and all that stuff. And it is also a touch screen, by the way.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty cool.
So I would like to see, though, I would like to see them partner up with Microsoft, like legitly. I would like to see Game Pass come to Steam.
Thank you.
I would like to see it launch with a Game Pass app for streaming, and also have the imagine if it had like that seal on it, like those other products, like the monitor we were talking about, or like the BMO headphones, where it's like a official Xbox certified machine for that. That would be very interesting.
I had my opinions of when we were talking before the show, but I definitely need a bit more information because I have a problem with software companies trying to create hardware, and there's a history of people trying to do it and failing. And like my whole point is, Steam is in the gaming market. There's no debate there, but their demographic has been PC, right? So it's people with PC. You're trying to tell me that you're going to make a mobile device to compete with a developer that have absolutely mastered the mobile device with the Switch. Everybody knows who Nintendo is. I guarantee you go around multiple countries in the world and you're going to say Nintendo and they're going to be like, yes. You're going to say Steam, they're going to be like, what is it? It's a new thing. So it's dangerous ground. It'll be good for people who know about it, but for like a new audience, it's going to be challenging. Just like it has been for past developers to do it. I mean, Stadia is a perfect example of Google trying to get in the hardware market, and well, look at that, right? Like that it's not going too well. More information, but it'll come competitive with the features that the device comes, what it's going to do, and who's it going to appeal with. And and like what games are going to be able to play on it, right?
Yep.
Optimization is going to have a big key. So it's a new operating system. So how are they going to optimize it for their system? Is it going to be optimization through developers, or is it going to be Steam kind of taking whatever code they have, or I don't know how that works, and kind of optimizing themselves? So how are they going to get all those games to operate functionally on a new operating system? It's going to be a challenge, and I know they're going to be able to do it. It's just we need more info.
I think they're actually already doing that because you can actually play your Steam library on certain versions of Linux.
Yeah.
So they probably just built off of whatever they chose was the best version of Linux to run that off of.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of the games are actually compatible with a lot of the Linux platforms lately. Like the gaming for that is growing and growing anyways.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Not all games are compatible there or anything, but yeah, I think it'll provide like a nice at least like competitive edge for them would be that it's always kind of like Sony way back in the day had their Sega way back in the day had their Game Gear
to
try and compete with the Game Boy and everything.
Right.
And then PlayStation had the PlayStation Portable and the PlayStation Vita that they were trying to use to compete with Nintendo, and now Nintendo's got the Switch and everything. And I think it'll appeal to those people who think that Nintendo's still just too much of a just family-based system or whatever, and they're gonna want that like gamer feel, like I'm a elite PC guy, and
absolutely,
in my opinion,
I might get one.
Well, a couple of things that hurt it, in my opinion,
it sounds cool,
is the fact that one, it doesn't have Warzone on it. 2, it doesn't have Fortnite on it. 3, it doesn't have Rocket League on it.
Really?
Those are huge games.
Yeah, those would
that
be
makes
like
that system way more appealing. Mind you, not for me really, but for
the gamer.
someone who wants to get a portable machine that's essentially it is like they said, a PC, and they can use it as both, plug it into a docking system and use it as. So if you really want to get something like that, you would have to put Windows on it, and the average user is not going to put Windows on it. And
like light version of Windows 11 for it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I hope they sell like a Windows version maybe of the system itself, because the fact that it won't have those particular games, especially Warzone, which I feel like that console, just the design and Steam and PC gaming kind of sways to that more demographics. Nice thing about it though, when it comes out, I think it's coming out this holiday.
December.
Wow.
That would be dope for Halo. Halo Infinite on that thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
free to play
because that game's going to be on Steam.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That'll be a great little portable Halo machine, that's for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it would be.
I'd definitely do that on the go.
Yeah. But you know what this kind of makes me think? It's when you look at it, it's pretty much the same power as an Xbox Series S. And it makes me think that in a couple of years, when they decide to like do a slim version of these consoles, don't do a slim version of the Series S. Make this machine.
Yeah.
Turn the Series S in 3 years into this machine.
Make the X-Boy.
Yeah.
You could fit all that power, because it is still pretty significantly more powerful than that, but like the Xbox Series S. But if you could squeeze all that into a nice portable device.
Yeah, man.
This is RDNA.
You're starting with the screen on it, and then you just got to move towards making that portable like a Switch.
It's already super small. Yeah, like if they make it even smaller.
Yeah, this is.
They could shove it into a portable system. I think
that's the hard part.
They could figure it out.
Eventually, physics just causes the whole thing to melt. But
It's called the PSP, guys. That's called the PSP. Yeah,
Well, the PSP inspired them a lot. They hoped the homebrew, because a lot of people cracked the PSP, but that
Absolutely.
kept
I
the
had so
PSP
much fun doing
alive.
that.
Mine, yeah.
I had a
And
PSP.
tons of people bought the PSP just to hack the system itself and put like every game on it, and that kept that system selling to this day. People still buy that system stuff because it was so refined. And Gabe Newell straight up said, "Hey, that's a market we want, so that's why we're pushing the openness of this product so much."
Yeah. I think with Valve, with this one, I don't think they care if they sell a ton of units, but I think if
they failed so many times in hardware.
Yeah, they don't care. I think they're looking at this as like a fun little project. If it makes money, that's good for them. It's not the end of the world for them.
Yeah. So speaking to it, like you're saying, Jess, like these software companies coming in and trying to make hardware and failing. Valve's done that a couple times. The Steam box, the Steam controller, the Steam streaming box thing they did.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's tougher than companies think, right? It really is.
Yeah.
And just to get established, I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. It'll be hard to it really depends on their direction, because it really depends that if they can even be in that type of competitive market. Like, what is it? Right? It's a portable PC, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean.
That's true.
Nintendo's a portable console, so there's a definitive. It's different. So it's mobile, so it is portable. Is it competing in the portable market, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're competing in the, it'll be good. It's going to be good. It'll be fun.
I think they need Microsoft this winter, especially. I think they'll try and promote games like Forza 5 running on it and Halo running on it, because they don't make really first party games anymore. If they announce this and they're saying, oh, Half-Life 3 is coming with it, or like Portal 3 or something, or just something compelling like that,
and it will push some sales more.
But
I'm excited to see what it's going to run like. I want to see somebody get it like day one or whatever, and then just load up Windows onto it and just see how it runs in Windows.
Run Windows, great. Okay, fantastic. We're
somebody's going to do it.
Yeah. Maybe it's me. I don't know. All right.
If they send us one, I'll do it.
We'll get our IT guy Dan to do it.
So Valve, we need a couple of because we asked Microsoft for fridges. Maybe we can ask Valve. They've got their money. They've got that. Let's move to something else. Let's talk about kids playing video games. Microtransactions. There's a new Xbox update that's going to allow parents to set limits to keep kids from splurging on microtransactions. Xbox Parental Controls are some of the best in the business. I'm with 3 dads, and you guys all have kids that are starting to play games. What do you guys think of this? Because I think this is amazing. I got my 3 nieces who are always playing their tablets, and now they're starting to play Xbox. And you know what? There's a lot more free-to-play games that are being downloaded all the time. They have all these microtransactions going on. I think this is great. I think this is a smart idea, because you always hear these stories about, like the kids actually, buying a bunch of coins, but then they're like, use your credit card, and they just press yes, because most of us kind of like put it in that like make it very simple to buy transactions. Heck, I'm spending microtransactions on MLB The Show, and I need an intervention, but I just think about like kids with this, and I'm just
have to set up your parental controls.
Please do. Please do.
I think it's going to be great for my kids, and I think it's going to be not as great for me, because if my wife figures out how to do it, then she's going to start locking down some of my stuff, and I'm not going to be able to order things.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this silver?
Yeah.
You bought? It's Destiny.
Oh, that's Destiny 2 stuff. Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's required for work. Yeah.
It's like, so it makes the gear you spent hours to get look prettier.
Yes. It's
something tells me for my video game. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm a superhero in that world.
You'll understand. That stuff's expensive.
Yeah. Something tells me when Halo Infinite comes out, if that samurai thing is like only paid to like whatever. If it's not,
they're giving you the first season free, so
for free. That's what I'm hearing.
That's in that season, so we're all getting it. Don't worry.
Okay, good. We're all 4 samurais. But yeah, anyway, like talking about this, like, do you guys think this is amazing? Because I think this is pretty smart. I mean, this is a no-brainer. We need this more often. Yeah, there's more
big time.
Yeah.
So considering when you go to apply for a credit card, you have to be a certain age. Therefore, I can put my credit card so that it's so easy at the touch of a button. You can access that credit card and pay for whatever microtransactions. Now, if a child is accessing that, or that card is on my daughter's account, there should be those guidances, because she can't go to the store and get a credit card or spend that kind of money. Do you want? So that's very.
I dare you to find
serious.
me one game that doesn't like encourage purchasing all the microtransactions.
Exactly.
Too. It's
Exactly.
my biggest
with this
nightmare
big
is like my
bundle
3-year-old doesn't understand.
And boop, there you go. Right. So it's.
This makes the game win. Like,
it is a must.
Keep pressing the win button.
When there is currency involved, it's a must. It's a must, right?
But you can also be like, hey, here's $30. This is what you'll get for this month or this 2 months or something like this. You can see it ticking away. Once it's done, it's done. You're not going to get another $30 until you do this chore or whatever or something. I hate doing the laundry.
Birthday.
I can't wait till Oliver can get his laundry done. Can't wait for the day. So that would be an easy way to get a microtransaction out of me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But their microtransaction, not microtransactions. Their parental controls are definitely next level, and I would like them to advertise it more. I feel like parents who get these consoles, and especially now that there is no gold requirement for free-to-play games like Fortnite and Warzone, I feel like it needs to be a bullet point on the box itself. So when the parent is looking at the box and be like, oh, I should because there is a separate app to download on your phone for parental control.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own program on your phone. It's very refined. It's very programmable. You can set time limits. You can set times of day you want it. You can turn it off whenever. Now you can set, microtransaction cost limits and stuff like that. So it's a really great app. And the fact that it's not slammed right on the box right there and be like, parents, maybe think about downloading this app because...
Are you talking about on the game box itself?
Yeah, like on the console box. Like if your mom, some kid's mom is in Costco, picks up the Xbox Series S box, sees, this could be a good Christmas present. Oh, there's an app I can buy, I can download that has the best parental controls. I can control all these things. Okay, I'll buy this console thing. I can use that to get my kid to do some things or something like that. But still, like they should be aware of this. Every parent should. And I work in cell phones, and there's parental controls for cell phones now, and no one knows about that. I tell parents about that.
Yep.
I do. Especially certain apps, of course.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And there's so many strangers online and stuff. So having more of a lockdown on your children's online activity and just management of time. And if they get upset because you turned it off, you know what? Life's upsetting sometimes.
Yeah, it's true.
Even for my kids, they've got like the Amazon Amazon Fire Kids. Tablets and everything. And they're great because you can just you can set limits and everything. They only get like a certain amount of hours a day and everything. And my oldest daughter even has like a reading requirement before she can actually get into all the games and everything. So now she reads for 15 minutes just before she gets her time on her tablet. And
really cool.
She's off to go.
Wow.
Amazing. That's amazing. Amazing.
So the better the better that app gets, the better that experience, and the easier that gets for parents, the better it is. And I just wish they would. It would be like you pull out the Xbox Series Xbox. There's nothing on it about parental controls on there.
Yeah.
It should be on the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is like with like Game Pass trying to even do more, family friendly games as well. Like I just think I think it's going to be a bigger discussion for that. Also, with so many free to play games and like the microtransactions that they kind of like demand, like sometimes you don't realize how much you're falling for a spell, and you just worry about underage kids who are not using their credit card, who are using a parent's credit card. I just think this is an amazing feature. So yeah, good on,
The
and good
casinos,
on
man.
good on you dads for being on top of this, all that stuff, right?
Actually, yeah, I use
Well,
the
my
the
kids
app
are
right
not old
now.
enough yet, but
Yeah. Or
Ah,
well,
they'll
they
get
will
there.
be. They will get.
Believe me.
Eventually. Yep.
Yeah.
Oliver's at the point where you say the wrong word in front of him and he'll repeat it, and you're just like, oh,
Oh,
dang it.
damn it. Nice.
Yep, had a few
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that.
But yeah, I actually use the app myself, and
Nice.
one game that always gets like on like pretty much every device is Minecraft.
Yeah.
And so my daughter can actually play it on her tablet and everything, and I actually can.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft, because it's owned by Microsoft, is
Yeah.
actually fully controlled by the parental controls on the Xbox family app.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
And yeah, you can just you can control all that stuff. I had to just set up a few things just to allow her to add a couple of people so that I could add myself and
Mhm.
everything, and then we could play together.
Fantastic.
Really
Awesome.
cool.
Nice. Well, speaking of dads, let's talk about Phil Spencer. Our Xbox dad.
Our Xbox dad.
Yeah, Xbox stuff. All right. Well, I mean, there's a couple of times he's talked about, and we'll talk about it. But he just had an interview on The Guardian. Matt Booty was also there, and there was a big key quote that I really liked. Microsoft is not forcing its studios to make sequels, and I'm like, I love this. This is amazing. And I was asking myself, like, what would we like to see with some of our developers making some certain new IPs? Clearly Phil Spencer wants them to take risks. With Game Pass, I think they can completely take risks. I don't think we can, we need to see, like somebody like the Coalition doing the same game, or maybe even 343. But I looked at this and I said, and I hope some of you guys had some time to think about it, but like, if there's a studio in particular and you're like, man, maybe they'd be great at making this game instead of something that's so common. And I'm gonna go with the Coalition again, and I'm looking at myself. I'm like, this company makes Unreal Engine look like it's on fire. How amazing they would do if they made some sort of like horror game in the vein of like the new Resident Evil Village or something like that. And I said to myself, what about any other studios? So let me bring this around. If you guys have any if there's a studio you guys think that you're like, man, this is a very talented studio. I'd like to see something interesting from them. And for me, I'm going to say Coalition making a horror game. Like a straight horror, not an action adventure, not a lot of gunplay, but a strict horror game. I think
And
this.
are we talking in the scope of the Bethesda and Xbox studios only?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's widen that spectrum. Oh,
one of my dreams.
I'll start with you, Jesse. Come on. What do you got?
I would love some form of Bethesda Star Wars game with some form of id Tech engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be maybe a Clone Wars period, Jedi or something like that, but fully expansive open world that Bethesda knows how to bring. And I've been wanting that kind of game ever since Oblivion came out. You know what I mean? Make them to do some form of Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a Coruscant game or something. I don't know. Yeah. Let me go to Dan.
Gonna pick me, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it a bit. I'm not sure. It's a tough question because it's hard to picture exactly how you think each studio would kind of make a different style of game and everything. It's like the first thing that kind of popped into my head is I don't know, maybe like Rare and like a racing game or something would be kind of cool. Or
Yeah.
I was actually thinking because of Flight Simulator and everything. It's like the one thing I'd love to see again is the flying game, the
Crimson Skies.
Crimson Skies. Yeah.
Yes, I know you were gonna say.
See
Yeah,
another flying game. Like I know Rare's kind of arcadey and everything, so they'd make probably something pretty good like that. Have they made
Yeah.
any other flying games? I don't think they have.
they made They made a Game Boy Advance Banjo Kazooie game, but it's like an airplane game, but it's like because the funny thing is Rare, while they were with Microsoft, they actually made some Game Boy Advance and DS games, but I believe they made a flying banjo game. I want to
Okay.
say, yeah. I'm just trying to. I think it's called Banjo something. I don't know. It's like
I know I've always had a soft spot for Rare ever since like way back
Yeah.
in like 007 GoldenEye.
Yeah.
It was always like a great game when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They'd make a great racing game. In fact, I feel like they'd be perfect for the car combat racing game if they ever had a. Like I think Rare would be it. But yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Josh, what about you, buddy?
I would. I was just thinking about this.
Yeah.
I would love to see 343 make a gritty sequel to Jet Force Gemini.
Oh, okay. That's Sega
Because
game?
I feel like they're really good at co-op games.
Yeah.
Especially with like Halo 4, Halo 5. They do co-op really well. I feel like they do sci-fi well as well.
Yeah.
Even though Halo 5's story wasn't that great, I really enjoyed Halo 4. Using that split space engine and just aging those two characters up to like adulthood, make their dog a little bit more badass or something. But I would love to see Jet Force Gemini come back serious. I think that would be so cool, and I think 343 should do it. That would be what I would like to see.
Yeah.
So letting Bill saying, we don't force them to do sequels and make original ideas makes me want to know what Compulsion Games is doing, because there's a reason they bought them, right?
Yeah.
And it was for this project they're working on, and apparently it's not a sequel, it's the original product. It's not a sequel to We Happy Few. So that's what I really want to see. So or maybe Jet Force Gemini done by id Software and gets really gritty.
Oh yeah. I'd also I know I'm in the cliched boat here, but I feel like if it was like established IPs, I know we were saying new IPs, but I'd love to see it make a Halo game or something like that. I'd love to see Halo running on a different engine as well.
Oh, we're about to, but
yeah, slip space, right? So, yeah, the slip. Yeah. No. What else? I mean, obviously, if we're talking about Bethesda, like Jesse, you were mentioning like a Star Wars game and all that stuff, but I was even thinking like Bethesda like would make a great Star Trek game, but I'm like maybe that's what Starfield is going to be. Maybe Starfield is going to be Star Trek
as its own kind of
space as well.
But more on the Enterprise. The Enterprise show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe
Enterprise was good. I liked it.
I loved Enterprise. Yeah, I actually liked Enterprise. It was like everybody, even the weird seasons of Enterprise. Bless you. Yeah, even though we can't hear you, we see you.
Just in time.
Yeah. You know what? Like the other thing is like, there's one that I've always said. I'd just really like to see Machine Games bring back Chronicles of Riddick. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Or even The Darkness. That'd be cool.
That's a great game.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
First and second one were awesome.
Oh yeah.
Is it on? Can you buy Chronicles of Riddick right now?
Yeah.
I feel like it's $5 game. I think it's a $5 game. It's an Xbox game. But try to buy Dark Athena, because that's actually the
good memories.
Yeah. Athena is you get the original game for free, and then you get like a completely big expansion game.
Yeah, like a sequel expansion.
Yeah, it was really good. It was an amazing little deal. Such a great little series. Too bad, they're not making any more of it, but maybe Vin Diesel can bring back the family. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Am I the only one that's saying that meme? Never mind. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's
Gotta
talk about.
incorporate it into what you can.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. Yeah, everybody's back. Yeah. Let's talk about VR. And I want to talk this about Dan because Dan, you're kind of like a resident VR guy. But Phil Spencer was on Kind of Funny Gamescast, and he essentially confirmed that they're not looking to getting into VR. But they're definitely revamping for their controller, referencing what Sony did to the PS5. So yes, we're going to talk about VR, but we're also going to talk about Sony's PS5 controller. Part of me, I do like VR. Hasn't been a hit. I don't think it's been a big hit on PC. I don't think it's been a big hit on even the PS4. But
it has its community. I think
yeah.
I think I can understand where Microsoft's coming from because there's no way to properly compete with that market right now. Like unless there's a big development in the technology that makes it really worth it for them to jump in, it's always just going to kind of feel like it's tacked on a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they're a little too late to the game at this point almost. Like unless they significantly improve something on VR technology, whether it's the goggles or the maybe augmented reality, they might want to go that way or something like that because they got the Microsoft Lens and everything.
Yeah, the HoloLens.
Yeah, the HoloLens.
$5,000, I think.
Yeah.
So
they're cool as heck, but no, it's just like I understand why they don't have it. I'm a little disappointed because I mean, like, my computer's good, but it could be better, and I could have better VR. But
the Series X can
fun
control.
still.
Yeah, I feel like the Series X is perfect for VR, but maybe it's like an expensive.
It's definitely powerful enough.
Yeah.
What
do you guys? No.
Did you listen to the full interview? He was also getting into. Yeah, and like I like how candid Phil speaks about the industry itself. Like he's one of the few executives who's not afraid to like bring up his competition and compliment them on what they do right.
Yeah,
and
you don't see that.
He's humble.
Yeah, and he talked about they asked him about a hardware question while kind of getting into VR, and they said stuff they would most likely look into revisiting and kind of maybe reamping is the controller front, and kind of he even mentioned by name the PlayStation 5 controller. Oh my god, right? So he did mention it by name and said, there's some great stuff it does in there with the haptics and the adaptive triggers. I haven't personally played with the PlayStation controller. The idea of the adaptive triggers sounds interesting, but probably more gimmicky. I'd probably shut it off like right away. But the haptic feedback, the better vibration sounds really good. So if they can bring stuff like that into it, but when you hear something like that, you're like, didn't you just start the design lab and stuff? So would this be more so something you would see on the Elite 3 maybe?
That's what I'm
controller,
thinking.
The Series 3 for that.
So guys, I played the PS5 controller. I think the haptics is great, but obviously, mind you, I think I played about 45 minutes. I was playing Cold War Black Ops on a friend of mine's PS5, and I loved shooting in that game. It was really good. Like the AK actually had there was this weird thing of like touch and feel, and perhaps I just feel like maybe it might even be better if it was on a Series X with like the Dolby Atmos sound and all that stuff. So I feel like I don't know. I think it's something that's good in the making, that I do hope we kind of release a cool Elite 3 controller for it. Do I think it's like a maker like break situation? I don't think so. I don't know.
For the longest time they've been developing for the VR sort of setups as like full hand gloves where you can actually feel like, oh, you picked up an object. You can feel it, like there's resistance in your hand, like you're actually holding that thing. And like that is something that would be like, big leap in that sort of controller change and everything. I think the haptic triggers would be nice, But I think to try and balance the extra hardware they put in, like I'm sure it costs Sony like a fair amount to have those
The
specialty
controller's fairly
triggers.
expensive. Yeah.
Yes, it's I think it's like a $90 controller if I remember. It's a 90, and I think they're losing money on the PS5, but they're also losing money on the controller, from what I'm told.
Yeah, and I would think it would be within like the Elite 3, and I believe I mentioned that in one of our podcasts that we did. One of these episodes, I was talking about that would be probably something that they would pursue because of developers. Yeah, even Todd Howard himself was saying some of the technology that Sony has in terms of their controller and stuff like that. It was really interesting to them and why they wanted to make certain games exclusives like Ghostwire Tokyo and those type of games. And so when you have those franchises like, hey, maybe Starfield might be a little bit too recent, but let's say the Elder Scrolls utilizing that type of technology with exactly like you said, picking up a sword, those type of things, I could definitely see it being in like an Elite style package for sure.
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing what they do, but yeah, I think it will be in more like the Series 3 Elite controller for sure.
Yeah, sure, it'll be great.
The Xbox Power Glove.
Honestly, I shut off. The only time I really use vibration is in racing games. I shut it off on everything else.
It's
I
on
can't
for
stand
everything. Yeah, for
I
me.
can't stand it for shooter.
Wow.
Yeah, it's if you try to play competitively at a shooter, you need to shut it off. It messes your aim up so much. And when you shut it off, especially when you play a game like Destiny or like Halo and you shut it off, you're like, oh my God,
I gotta try.
I'm doing so much better. It's kind of shocking. You're just like, oh my God, the vibration really screws you up. But on racing games, not at all. You feel that you need to feel the controller shake to know when you're taking your hands off the gas and stuff like that.
Interesting.
But for shooters, it's useless. If anyone says, "But how do you know you're going to get shot?" I'm like, "Well, when you're playing a PC first-person shooter, which you guys say is the best place to play a first-person shooter, your desk is not vibrating when you get shot, so don't worry about it."
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Yeah, there was what was it? There was that really fun. Yeah, has anyone seen that funny video of the guy like using a control, like a mouse, and it's like he's using a
he puts like a motor on his table and it just starts shaking.
And
He had to duct tape his screen to the table. So funny.
I'd have motion sickness for doing that. I definitely all right, let's talk about a Game Rant article. And Jesse, I want to talk to you about this because me and you love Obsidian. I'm sure Josh and Dan, you got to talk about this, but there's like a recent Game Rant article, and the headline pretty much says, "Is Obsidian Entertainment taking on more than it can chew?" And I think the big question is, well, if you look at Obsidian's history, first of all, I think they're actually one of the most talented, underrated studios. Yes, they had made some buggy games that were on a rush, but I think with Microsoft being at their at their backs, they're going to be one of the best studios. Pretty much this is an observational article. I feel like they're making some false assumptions, but they're pretty much alluding that this is a team that hasn't really made the game of the years. Do you think they're actually fully capable of doing this? I'm in the camp and I'm going to say no. I think this is a team that's always needed this. They've always needed a real backing. And even though they've worked on some studios with some games, from my experience, I don't think they've realized that KOTOR 2, when that game was made in 9 months. They just formed, and LucasArts gave them a strict deadline. Bethesda in New Vegas also gave them a really strict deadline on 2010, releasing that game on 2010 with the same engine. And there are other games where like mid-budget, maybe low-budget funds, like Alpha Protocol was a low-budget game and all this stuff. So I completely disagree with this, but Jesse, what do you think about this article?
No, I don't think they're biting off more than they can chew. It's a talented company that's spanned many years. I mean, I was shocked to find out that KOTOR was actually their first game because that game was phenomenal. I loved it. In some ways, I loved it more than the first one.
Yeah.
No, they have teams doing certain games. There's a separate team for the Grounded. Like the people who are interested and invested into Avowed are not working on Grounded. It's they're two different type of games or um
they're a multi-team
games.
studio.
They're right, exactly. So no, and especially that they have the financial back of Microsoft, they're able to hire more staff. You still have the management in place that so what were their flaws? Rushed kind of material and games and bugs and all those type of things, and no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
But were these like the worst reviewed games, even though they were rushed? I mean, KOTOR 2 was still a pretty good game.
Yeah,
New Vegas is a lot.
I mean, people say that that's the best Fallout game, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people say that.
Yeah. I mean, I just think this is a team that's going to be, like, I think they're going to release bangers. They have 200 people on their staff. Avowed is in full production. They've just announced Outer Worlds 2, so I don't think they're like all full on board in Outer Worlds 2. I think Grounded is like a small team. I don't think it's like a full team making that game. So
we were talking about this the other day. So I know like this guy's articles. It's a lot of assumptions. Like I read the whole thing. In the end, it comes down to, well, we don't know. I'm like, well, because you don't work there, right?
Exactly.
So how many employees they have? Like
200?
I think we were looking at like 200.
200, yeah.
So if a team like the guys who made Returnal, it was a team of like 100 people make a game like that, and there's probably like not all of them on that team. Probably something making another game there.
Yeah.
So let's say
80.
We have 120 people working on Avowed.
Yeah.
And then you have a good chunk of people, maybe another 20 people doing pre-production stuff on Outer Worlds 2. As soon as Avowed's done, that team's going to move to Outer Worlds 2. And then you have more than enough people there working, probably working on smaller projects. So if they have the right amount of people working on that project, then it wouldn't be putting more stuff on their plate. If anything, you can look at it as, and these things could fail. They might have too much on their plate, but you can look at them as maybe giving people more opportunity in their company. Like I forget the developer's name, and I apologize to that particular writer and director of that, but the person who did the new expansion for the Outer Worlds, the new expansion apparently is fantastic.
It's like Gorgon?
No, not Peril. Is it Peril on Gorgon? It's the murder mystery.
Eridanos. Murder on Eridanos.
Yeah, Murrodon. And I hear it's just amazing. And now she, I think, is leading up her own project or leading Outer Worlds 2.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and Grounded is still a success for them. So they have that team of people kind of just taking charge of that and continuing with that. So if they have the right amount of people,
I think the team for Grounded will be more permanent though, because it's a live game. So they're always going to. It's like you could compare it to like the team of Sea of Thieves, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's like I believe that's set.
Yeah.
That I can't see moving. So they have
And as
developer of multiple teams, they'll
done,
be fine, especially backed by Microsoft. They'll be just fine. And they're going to release really good games.
And especially once Avowed is done, that'll be like probably 100+ people that will just be like, okay, now we're going to move maybe a couple of you to this smaller project and the majority you to Outer Worlds 2. And, that'll be fantastic. But, they've been around for years and years. They're professionals. And now that they have creative freedom to do this, it's not like they went to Microsoft and said, hey, we're gonna do this and that, and Microsoft said, hey, no. Like I would hope that there's a reason Microsoft bought them. They must manage their company very well. Projects like Outer Worlds 2, like their what's that other series that Avowed's based off of?
Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, they're Pillars of Eternity games. Just stuff they've done just on the independent front and published front. I think they've proven themselves to take on many different projects.
Yeah.
If anything, they're acting as their own publisher for a while. So No, I'm excited for them. I think that's probably their best team right now.
Yeah.
And especially if they can just
becoming a pretty
take their
good big game.
graphics. Like I feel like their environments are really good, but if they can take their character models and just the graphics, just
pump it up
a little pump that up just a little bit more.
You can really relate them to Bethesda, right? Because once Skyrim hit, think of all the games they made. Yeah, Oblivion was really, really popular, but once Skyrim hit, that's when Bethesda completely exploded into a whole different.
Well, don't they
There's
have
only
their
been
own,
like 12 or 13 versions of it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Don't they have their own like dialogue, what they do for their dialogue tree and their decision making? Isn't that like a proprietary engine? What Obsidian has like a proprietary thing in their engine for dialogue trees and decision making, and now Bethesda can be like, hey, buddy, at Obsidian, we worked with each other. Could we use that for Skyrim? Are there the next Elder Scrolls coming up?
Or Starfield?
Skyrim 2.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the best thing about them collabing, and I think it will be cool once COVID is done and they do E3 next year, and they can actually get together in person, and like all the studios are like all talking with each other, and they're like, "Oh, you did this super cool! Like, we gotta figure that out." Like, it'll be very cool. I feel like the future is very bright for them. So
I think the other thing, and I know I just said that earlier, but like they have never gotten like that big high budgeted game to make. Like I believe everything they made were like mid tier. Like the South Park game was not like a high budgeted game. Like even the Outer Worlds was like a private division.
I totally forgot about that. That was so good. That game was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, no, they're so high. They're so top tier.
They're talented.
Yeah, they're such a top tier.
They're going to be great.
Funny game.
Yeah, they're going to do. Yeah. I'm like in my head going like, this team is perfect. Like this was the best like buy low candidate ever. If you were Microsoft, this was one of their best decisions. I mean, Playground was also one of their best decisions as well. But I think Obsidian is.
Wow.
I really want to see Avowed now. Like,
me too.
I just want to see, and I think they're going to show it at Gamescom. I really do.
Yeah. Well, next month, right? Let's talk about another studio that just recently released some stuff. Forza Horizon 5 from Playground. We just saw a recent video with the car audio. I'm already sold with this game. I think Forza Horizon 4 is one of the best racing games I've ever played. Yeah. They've got an extra year to make this. So let's talk about the ray traced audio. The ray traced audio sounds... It sounds like a game changer because it means vehicle sounds will dynamically change based on the surrounding environment. Traffic sounds will change depending on where you're in, a town or an underpass or in a plane. There's also a thing called granular hybrid looping. So Forza 4 only had like 15% of those vehicles, but it looks like all vehicles are going to be on this for Forza 5. This is crazy. This is achieving 90 FPS. I just can't talk much about this game because I'm kind of like in this point where I'm like, I'm sold. I think this might be one of the Game of the Year candidates for us.
If not Game of the Year.
Yeah, the ray traced audio. I mean, we all are going to play this. Yeah.
Everyone says Halo is the biggest game coming out for, I think it's this, to be honest, considering it won Game of the Show at E3. So, and I just want to kind of go back. I did say, when I was watching that E3 footage, I thought it was ray tracing in there because they were talking about it. But yeah, the ray tracing is only in Forza when you're looking at your car, like in the garage in that
Photo
first
mode.
person view, and also in photo mode. So if you go to photo mode in the world, it'll turn ray tracing on, but not when you're playing the game. So I was wrong on that. But that just shows like their game looks so good that you think ray tracing is already on, right?
Yeah.
So, but ray tracing audio, it's interesting to hear. No pun intended, right? To hear them doing different techniques with ray tracing, because you hear about ray tracing shadows, ray tracing reflections, like they did in Doom a lot. But doing ray tracing audio, it bouncing off walls properly, and then using Dolby Atmos maybe even on top of that, affecting that, because it'll feel like it's like going right over top of you. Or I'm curious how like going into tunnels will sound like, and I'm curious because they said they are adding convertibles for the first time in the game. So I'm curious if a convertible sounds different when you're going in a tunnel, or if things like that, like if it's based off of like how your character hears it in the game, you know?
Yeah.
Like strapped to the top of your car.
So it's very interesting. I would love to hear a connection between Forza 4 and Forza 5, like next to each other.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it was it looked like a really interesting system that they kind of built and everything too. So like, there's a massive, like 300 and something sounds, or like mini sound clips that they were saying that they use to kind of split up and like change dynamically as you're changing like road and everything too. So like as you're like hitting some gravel and everything, as you're hitting that, it starts to change partway through some of those sound samples and everything. Like the tires are starting to actually grind on that and everything, and then it's shooting that across and having the echo and everything that you would have in a tunnel or whatever. And like some of it might be muffled a little more because it's hitting the plants and everything. I guess one of the biggest like examples of it I can think of is whenever I'm driving through like a drive-through to just go pick up some food and everything. The car sounds completely different when your driver's side window is open and you're up next against a wall. Like, it sounds completely different from when you're up against that to driving off and leaving with your window still open, and the sounds are just like echoing off of the road now. So it's just.
I wonder if it'll help with hearing like a car coming up behind you better.
Like,
I was saying with how haptic feedback's really good with the controller, especially for car games. Not so much. Well, I shut it off for shooters, but it's great for car games. I'm curious if now the audio, you'll hear that guy just slowly creeping up behind you now.
Yeah. It's true.
Screaming at you out of his window, get out of my way!
Get out of my... or the honk. Yeah, or I'm just curious about even the
That's a reason to bring the Kinect back right there.
Kinect. We'll talk about that maybe in a podcast, the history of that maybe one day. Okay, let's wrap it up with our biggest discussion of the week. Jesse, you brought this up, and I was like, okay, we got to pin this as our big discussion. I talked with because I think we've been having this discussion even privately beyond our own podcast, but it's really about the PlayStation and especially with what Sony's doing with next gen upgrades. The big question is, should you, if you are a PlayStation holder, be paying for next gen upgrades? Should gamers be copying up the extra $10? There's been a recently re-release of like a Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. Mind you, it also comes with an expansion, but as a standalone purchase, it costs $60 for PS4, $70 for PS5. The $10 version is it's definitely unusual, but it does fall in what like Sony's practice of charging premium for certain PS5 games. It also likely the reason that this is why PS5 upgrades is just not free. From Sony standards. So if you do own the standard version of Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, they can upgrade it on PS4 for $20. And players that purchase the director's cut, they want to upgrade it for a PS5, can do so for an extra $10. Ultimately, players with the standard PS4 can jump straight to the director's cut on PS5. So if you own the PS4 version and you want to get the director's cut when you have a PS5, it's an upgrade for $30. What do you guys think about like them rebranding Director's Cut at these games and charging a next gen upgrade? There was an answer from Sony's end that they said, or somebody else was saying it, and they were trying to justify this. But essentially, when you are buying the PS5 upgrade, you're actually re-downloading the whole game from the standpoint. So they're trying to justify it as $10. I think it's complete BS. I think this is stupid. First of all, just because, well, hey, you're right now Microsoft, when they're giving the Series X and X version, it's completely free, and they're not charging you for it. But I think this is just so stupid.
Yeah.
What do you
Seems to
guys
me from like a business standpoint,
Yeah.
they kind of like maybe either spent too much money developing it
Yeah.
or something, and they're trying to kind of make that back. Because I know
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is like an amazing game. It's one of like the highest rated games that Sony's got right now. So I mean, they must be selling a ton of copies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like it's making some good money, but I don't know if
Yeah.
it just cost an incredible amount to get to that level of amazing artwork and everything, or just like, yeah, because it doesn't really make sense to me either. It's just like, if you bought the game, you invested in it and everything already, like, just like, can we get the other parts? I don't know. Even like
Yeah.
sell the DLC separately. If you're going to charge anything, like,
Yeah.
is the different model really going to be that much better for anything?
Well, it's a director's cut now, Dan. So
They're
it's
not called game. Yeah.
highbrow. They took the
Yeah.
Game of the Year edition and decided to turn it into director's cut. So basically, the upgrade, if you have the PS5 Core version, you want just the upgraded features like the Japanese lip syncing and the haptic feedback on the controller, just
Ooh.
kind of basic stuff like that. That's $10. The expansion itself is $20, which
Yeah.
that being $20, which I hear it's like 14 hours or something like that. That's
Yeah.
a steal in my opinion.
You know,
But $10 for just like essentially just a quality of a life update to the PS5 version, even though they say it's yes, its own separate download, but I'm sorry. Sony, that was your lack of foresight on how to, develop games and not making that really easy transition where, smart delivery on Xbox makes that an easy transition.
Yeah.
But, Microsoft did something similar
Yep.
with Gears of War 5, but they didn't charge you $10 for the Series X version of the game, but they did charge you $20 for the campaign for Hive Busters. But if you did have Game Pass
Ultimate.
Unlimited, you got Ultimate, you got for free. So they did something similar, but they didn't charge you that extra $10 for the PS5 version, which PS5 is already so hard to get. And there's not like a ton of just PS5 experience games. So throw those people who are able to get the console and spent that much money to get them. Those people a bone, man.
Yeah.
Like,
or spending extra money. Sure.
Yeah, like, why don't you just give it to them for free? Why didn't you just make the expansion just $20 and just be like, yeah, your upgraded version is. It's not like your upgrade version is free. It's not like they need the money. You're Sony, man. You're not an indie company. If No Man's Sky can come out with huge, absolutely massive content updates every single year for free, and there's no monetization in that game, and Sony can't add a lip sync and haptic feedback, they have to charge you $10 for that. That's currently and to make it a native PS5 download for your console. Oof. That must have been some tough work for them. I could totally understand it being tough work to make the expansion pack. Totally. That's a whole new area, new assets, new all that stuff. But it's just haptic feedback and a Japanese lip sync. And maybe the game runs probably better, no doubt, because it's actually optimized properly for PS5 and probably looks a little better. It's not like it's going to be like leaps and bounds better than what it looked like on PS4, but it will have better textures, run better, and stuff like that. But $10 for the privilege of it being a PS5 native is kind of, I don't know, doesn't sit well with me when it just doesn't happen on the other console. Like it just doesn't happen on Xbox.
Yeah.
And I feel like they
we're just
justified that with the word director's cut, like they're doing with Death Stranding. But at least Death Stranding sounds substantial. But even Kojima came out and said, "I don't like the phrase director's cut."
Well, either or, it's the same game, right? Director's cut or not,
Yeah.
it's the same exact game. It's not like they're adding completely different features that are going to
or a
justify
bunch of cut out content.
$70, right? Like none of that is going on, and like just from the standpoint where I am, obviously I have a Series X, and I mean, come on, we don't have to talk about the backwards compatibility program that they have is just absolutely phenomenal, and it just upgrades the games, upgrades the frame rates and everything like that, and it is absolutely free. Absolutely free. I don't understand it. It seems to me that if I had a PlayStation, I wouldn't be playing many games, especially, or at least purchasing this director cut. It would have to entice me, right? Like, I had just purchased a console. Why am I buying this game again? Why am I getting it again just because it has these features? I mean, it's the same game. If I bought a PlayStation 5, I want to experience brand new games and charge me $70 for brand new games. And I'll buy your brand new $70 games that have brand new next gen features that were made on next gen consoles. That's the $70 that I want to spend, not on games that were released last generation. Calling it director's cut, charging me all this money to just play it again with certain features. No,
And I'm astounded at like just sorry to change the subject a little bit, but Microsoft's doing with Minecraft. It's like I bought Minecraft like 14 years ago or something like that. I can't even fully put a date on it. I know it was
10 years
sometime in
ago.
high
It's
school.
been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time anyways, but yeah. And just like I remember getting it in like beta or whatever, and I get it for everything since then. It's like I have not found a device that I can't play it on an upgraded version and like new content, new everything. It's like, oh, you can get it for your phone, you can get it. I got it on all my PCs too because I can just get it from the Microsoft store now.
Kind of makes you feel like as a PS5 owner. Well, I'm not a PS5 owner, but if I was a PS5 owner, I would almost feel like a kind of like a second class citizen.
Yeah.
Getting like, you know what I mean though, like it's the first year of the console. Like these things should just be like kind of like thrown at you, like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima, oh, we made it even better for that sweet console you paid like $600 for. I feel like these things are just like no brainer things, and it also makes you like the person who owns PS4 and they own Ghost of Tsushima, knowing that they have the PS5 version already without spending a dime, makes them probably want to go buy a PS5. But knowing that's not the case, and the contrast is just not good optics right there. Like, it's not the same on Xbox. They don't do that. Like when I buy Forza Horizon, when that person buys Forza Horizon 5 this holiday coming up, and they buy it on their Xbox One, they will see footage on YouTube of the Series X version and be like, oh, I want that version. Like, look at that version. It looks gorgeous. And them to be like, yeah, no, you already own that version. Like, no, you don't want that version. You own that version already.
Yeah.
You just need to get the right hardware for it.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do that to Halo. They're not going to do that to Forza 5.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, why did you do that? You don't need. You clearly, like, it's $10. You don't need the money.
Well, it kind of goes in line with their thing of they believe in generations. That whole thing is so conflicted in itself because
I feel like they're confused.
You're trying to stick with it with a certain thing. So you're saying, okay, well, this is the next generation version of Ghost of Tsushima. So this is the money that you're going to pay for the next generation version of it.
Feels like PS3 early days Sony arrogance and like Xbox One
Feels
reveal.
like it. Yeah.
It just what it
arrogance.
would
What it
be
feels
is
like.
hard to
Yeah.
hard as a gamer. And it could only be because I'm so used to Xbox, right? It would just be hard as a gamer to really. How am I going? Without Game Pass, right? Let's just put this in perspective. Without Game Pass and the backwards compatibility program that they have, the amount of games that I've played since I've picked up the Series X, I have never played that many games within a console generation. Console generation due to price point because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So
I was a bargain bin hunter.
Bargain bin hunter.
Dude,
trading in my games. I can't. I traded in. Oh my god! I traded in, guys. You guys are gonna say you should be ashamed of yourself. I traded in my Halo 2 metal case game to get another game. Traded in the metal case collector's edition that I bought. I traded that in to get another game.
I have memories with that metal case.
I was looking to see if I had the metal case.
That.
I was about to see, like, do I have that metal case?
Biggest regret. We don't have to do that no more. So even if you were a physical game hunter or collector, you don't have to do that anymore. Buy those old games, pop them in your Series X.
Yeah.
Often 120 FPS and so on and so forth. We don't, I feel it's just different ways of doing things, right? Yeah.
Well, it's forward thinking. A lot of people who are playing on their PS5 will be playing the PS4 version accidentally of their game. It's like they clearly show that
they can do that.
Yeah,
they can do that.
Yes, the PlayStation 5. Yes, it can happen.
What do you mean? What?
So yes, the console can down because the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, they're two separate downloads.
Yeah.
And the console is not smart enough to recognize what console you are. So a lot of people would accidentally be playing the PS4 version of the game without them realizing, and they have to go into a sub menu to switch it to the PS5 version. I'm just like,
that's
so the casual parent supposed to know that which version they're buying for their kid. You just bought a PS5 and you spent $60 and you give your kid and they're like, this is the PS4 version.
Yeah,
it's funny because I actually had a discussion online about this too, and it was actually
that's
like
a problem.
the PlayStation.
That's actually a problem.
Yeah, one of the main problems is that like a lot of the PlayStation owners, because you can use like an external hard drive for expandable storage and everything, you load all your games onto there, and a lot of them were buying PS5s, plugging their external drives in, like because you can use the smaller external drive, but it's like the Xbox, you can only play like PS4 or Xbox One games off of the external hard drive unless it's on Xbox. You've got the special attached like storage device on the back where you get the storage expansion because that'll run actual Xbox. Yeah, exactly, because it's got to be a special kind of drive because everything's moving to this new kind of drive for faster read and write speeds and all the capabilities it comes with. On the external hard drives, you can't do that.
Yeah, no,
they're never going to enable their NVMe drive on the top of that console. The fact that the PlayStation 5 has been out for almost a year and their external NVMe drive is not like that drive is not working yet on their console. That's crazy. It's been a year almost.
So you can only own like 5 PS5 games, maybe.
I was surprised at that.
Practically.
Yeah. So it's I hope they kind of
hold on.
reassess.
So they still, because I heard about that in the beginning when the consoles released that people are, and they haven't fixed the problem where you can still buy the old game.
Sorry,
no,
what? No.
So no,
it's hard to tell even.
No, it's not so much that you accidentally buy the old PS4 version of the game. It's when you download the game, it will sometimes download the PlayStation 4 version instead, and the console's not smart enough to realize that it should automatically download the PS5 version. So sometimes you'll be playing the game and be like, "Oh, why does this game run like crap?" Because you're not playing the right version of the game.
Yeah. This happened in Black Ops Cold War. Yeah, a friend of mine had
that.
It
seems like
your buddy over. Look at this game, man! This beautiful 60 FPS game, and it's playing at 30, and your buddy's like, "No, man, that's like 30
I think you're
FPS.
playing the PS4 version."
Yeah.
So
Look at that.
but it shows
I
that
gotta
Microsoft
stop,
was very
man.
forward
No,
thinking.
no.
The fact that they decided to not change their operating system, so the fact that they decided to just kind of tweak their operating system from the 1 to the Series S, well, it's like buying a new Android phone. You're just buying a more advanced version of what you have, and why mess with the operating system if it's working really good and it does all those same things? It's like when we moved from the 360 to the Xbox One when it first came out, all those things were gone, and how annoying was that? And the fact that it all came back by the end of the Xbox One, if they would have switched their operating system to the series, and I know it's nice to have something fancy and new on your screen and stuff, but I'm glad they didn't change the operating system. I'm so used to it and how it works, and it works so fast and fluent, and it just
I was very familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
But and it just unifies things across the board more. It just shows that Sony sadly, and like we say, they make banger games. Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game. New Ratchet and Clank, fantastic game.
No,
but they're being
undeniable.
weird with their their console. Like the issues I heard with Returnal on how it crashed the console, and how there's on Sacred Symbols, one of Colin's friends couldn't get the game running and it would constantly crash, and Sony basically wouldn't even acknowledge them. So they paid $70 for this game that's constantly crashing their console, and Sony won't even acknowledge. And it's funny because the developer came and said it's a hardware thing. So what's going on there? And I know we're kind of dogging on Sony a little bit, and I don't want to be that guy, but
it
I
is,
feel
but
like
it
they weren't
isn't though.
forward thinking.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So the one is dogging and trashing and being disrespectful, but I don't think any of us are doing that.
It's more like
I'm in shock of that. Like
right?
I didn't. There are certain things that I didn't know, because that is a problem that I heard of at the beginning of the generation. I didn't.
Well, they're not a software company, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the Xbox One, because they use the same OS, the Xbox One was almost this very expensive beta test for the Series X, right?
Yeah.
That's why when the Series X came out, it was the most refined operating system on a console, period, because it was iterated on for years and years and years in the Xbox One generation. So a person buying an Xbox Series X for the first time coming from PS4, I think they would be blown away with being like, oh, my saves just sync right away. The operating system's quick and fast. Everything just works really nicely. It's and I've messed around with the PS4. That thing is, like I said, they're clearly not a software company. So
I will just say, having I owned the PS4 before, turning it on, trying to play games with that sometimes, and just closing each game, I'm starting to notice last gen and the faults of it. They can run some powerhouse games, but without quick resume and all these little things, I'm looking at it and going, ugh. And I'm thinking about how PS5 doesn't even have quick resume. And then I'm just seeing all these extra.
That's another game changer. Wow.
Even that Steam device was touting that it has quick resume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Maybe Sony will do it, and they'll charge an extra $10 for it. I don't know.
But I think low blow. Yeah, for real. But I think Forza Horizon is the biggest. Forza Horizon 5 though is the biggest outlier in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because when you get it for Xbox
quick
One,
resume for $10.99. Oh man.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But when you get the Forza Horizon 5 version, you have the Series X version, and it's gonna look so much nicer. It's gonna have ray tracing. It's gonna have all these extra things, and it's the same price as the Series X version. It's a $60 game, and that's gonna just that's just going to hammer it home more and more and more, because it sounds like this holiday we're going to have the biggest releases of Halo and Forza 5. So it sounds like at least this holiday and possibly next with Starfield and whatever else they decide to announce coming out next holiday. It sounds like we were going to have the bigger holiday this year, and Forza and Halo being at that price point and being cross-gen and not a costly upgrade.
Absolutely.
Halo free-to-play multiplayer.
And definitely puts a statement out there. So
you guys want to hear my Xbox sales pitch? If you're PS5 and you're sold out and you can't find it,
isn't it this podcast?
That's this podcast. But buy a Series S, get yourself an Xscreen, pay $1 for your first 3 months. You want to play next gen games? Don't worry about the extra $10 surcharge. We're here. We got you. Yeah, all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we won't even charge you for the game itself. We'll just put it in Game Pass for you.
Put it day one, baby. You know what I mean?
3 months for $1.
Get one of those Steam consoles day one. Install Windows 10 and send me that video.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then play Xcloud on there.
Oh yeah.
Man, if that comes out and they announce a partnership with Microsoft and Game Pass finally comes to Steam, that makes that thing a lot more appealing.
More desirable.
100% more appealing. Absolutely.
I feel like Valve games, and we're getting back on this topic, but I feel like their games, they are great games, but the fact that they're not going to have Warzone, they're not going to have Fortnite, they're not going to have these more appealing games to a younger audience, which hopefully Halo and the new Forza and these titles, Sea of Thieves and whatnot on that thing, that will make I think Microsoft can make that machine more appealing. But we'll talk more about it when it comes out. Maybe I'll hold it up instead of holding up my broken laptop.
Yeah, we'll get that back. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think I look at this and I go, in the end of the day, we're not here to ever trash people. I know I made like a low blow, but I just I'm always like, you know what? If you're a gamer and you're like,
it was funny, Andrew. It wasn't a low blow. It was funny.
I know, but like at the same time, you're
Jess was laughing so much.
But
side splitter.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you are a gamer and you're you have some sort of just enough income to survive, because like I find gaming to be kind of an expensive hobby. It's an expensive hobby, and I just always hated the thing in gaming where there's just like, how do we maximize costs? How do we maximize more profits? And I'm just looking at it like, do you realize most of your target audience are, they don't like, they're already spending a ton on your console. They're already spending a ton on this. And I'm just looking at this $10 and like, it's just a punch in the face. A gut maybe.
Well, we're parents. I know you're not a parent, Andrew, but now being a parent, I can be like, well, now I know how my mom felt when I ran up to her and was like, yeah, I want Banjo-Kazooie. I want this game. That's not easy saying no, and it's not easy saying yes either, because these kids already eat you out of house and home.
Yeah,
like, and didn't I just do groceries like 5 days ago, and the house is already empty? Like, come on.
Oh yeah. Can we get some more pizza pockets? I don't know.
We'll see. We're raising really good points because we do have 3 dads here, and it just economically it just makes sense to go with a Game Pass, and you know what I mean. No matter what, you could be the biggest fan of something, but when it comes down to it, you if you're doing it for your kid and you want them to play whatever games they want to, or just have a good time, then I think there's a lot more access to those games on Game Pass for sure.
And I know we said no, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like last week's podcast, Josh, you also said this, and but like if this was 7 years ago and this was a launch and we were doing all the stupid shit we did on Xbox One, we'd be calling it out. If we had that podcast then at 2013, I'm sure we'd be calling it out. We're just we're just trying to tell the truth, and we're just trying to tell us like general reactions of how we would react. We're not buying these consoles just because we're like it's not just brand loyalty. We also want to be happy with these consoles, right? I want PlayStation 5, owners to, well, they're probably doing it because they've been loving those games for a long time. But I want them to be happy this generation. I don't want them to lose. That's not my intention. I don't want, when we did that Nintendo rant with the Switch, I want those Nintendo fans to be happy. I want Sony fans to be happy, but I also don't want you to be ripped off. That's pretty much it.
But it's kind of refreshing to finally see that all three companies are actually doing something very different.
Mm-hmm.
But it also sheds light on, a lot of people say Sony's taking more of the traditional console route this generation. And to me, everything they're showing in contrast to, let's say, what Microsoft is doing, just showing that you have to adapt with the times, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That the same model, it can continue, and it's not like your console's not selling out or anything, or you're having trouble selling games or anything. And there's always an audience for that, but the contrast between the two, Sony and Microsoft, it's nice to see that it's actually a contrast. Like there's a difference, and it's
good competition,
right?
Yeah, it's not just like them doing the exact same thing. They are both doing very different things.
Yeah,
which is nice. So
it is.
It is a competition. It's not like I'm going to run out and buy a PlayStation 5 or anything like that. But I like what Microsoft's doing. I've pretty much always liked what Microsoft's doing.
We had a couple of years.
We've had definitely our dark time, but definitely stuck out with them. Like I said, you can't play Halo on anything else, right?
That's true.
And Forza. So so at least they had those things. But future looks bright for both companies, especially for first party. But that $70 game and the $60 and the Game Pass and the day one releases, these things are going to stack up. And just like I feel like Microsoft will be left in the dust in VR, and Sony will be probably on the forefront of that with Oculus and stuff.
Yeah.
But for subscriptions and stuff like this, I feel like Sony will be kind of left in the dust there. So, like I said, they're both doing different things, and it's fantastic to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Would they be completely left in the dust? Because in that interview, when
Phil Spencer?
Here's the first swear word of the whole thing. Sorry, guys. At the end, Phil Spencer. I don't know why I said Todd Howard. Anyways, I completely lost the point of what I was trying to say. I'm sorry.
He said he liked VR, but they're not like pursuing it. Where I feel like from what you've learned of Sony's new headset with the OLED screen in it, their new controller, that it's just one connection into it, they could really innovate in that space.
Would he not have been alluding to not necessarily be attached to the hardware, but maybe if it's attached to your PC, Game Pass somehow being a part of that?
I could see the cloud maybe.
Or the cloud, sorry.
Yeah, maybe doing something with that, but just like how Sony is not exploring, well, I guess they're kind of exploring with PlayStation now, but no, I feel like Sony will always, in the fact that they are exploring VR more now, they will have the edge.
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
like Microsoft will have the edge on subscriptions and online services and stuff.
Every company's on its
and when like you have even like, let's say 4 studios working on VR games and stuff, or maybe all your studios are working on some VR products. That's all your studios getting familiar with making VR games where Microsoft studios are not, right? So
yeah. I mean, do you remember when like Kinect came and like Kinect was kind of a hit, and all these other studios, like their studios all started trying to have it? Sometimes it gets in the way. So part of me doesn't want too much of this VR stuff, because would it get in the way of like the more important games that matter to me? I've always wanted VR to be just like a complimentary experience. So it might be just
augmented reality. You gonna get yourself some HoloLens?
$5,000, guys. $5,000. I think it costs $5,000.
They look cool as hell, though.
Yeah. We'll see.
Aren't they selling them to the military now?
Yes. Yes.
They're using them for a lot of commercial applications. Like
Yeah.
someone from my company actually moved to a different position, and they're using them in like the food handling industry and everything in a warehouse
Mhm.
space.
Yeah.
They're really going in and developing like commercial applications for it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Try,
Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely advancing.
Future.
Yeah.
The future is bright for both companies.
Yeah.
In the end.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But I will like when this console transitions over, so we can stop talking about $10 upgrades.
Absolutely. Me too. Maybe we'll have some like good things to talk about. Next week is going to be pretty awesome, right? We're going to have some great things to talk about. Ascent's coming soon. And
I think we'll have EA Play.
maybe Gears
we'll have
5.
Yeah.
Gears 5. Sorry, Coalition might be showing off their Unreal Engine 5. So
they showed off one picture, so we'll definitely.
Yeah, that's where we'll talk about it when we
stuff.
Absolutely. All right.
And hopefully they will announce their GameCon schedule and what they're going to be doing with that. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Working laptop.
And getting my
New
laptop. They say August 18th. I'm like, are you kidding me? I got to give them a call tomorrow.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. So yeah, if you like this podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Feel free to leave the comment below. You can also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. We're also on Reddit, Instagram, on Twitter. We're at North Xbox. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch. JD Pro 2015 will be back on Monday.
Nice.
But,
nice. Dan,
we will be sattling up.
Oh, let's settle up.
Red Dead Redemption Online.
Yeah.
I'll sneak up behind you and I'll rope you and I'll just drag you and be like,
I'm just gonna be fishing, boys. I'm gonna be the old man.
You can try.
Yeah. Come join us.
The last guy who crept up on me got shot straight in the head, man. I didn't even take chances. He knew what I was doing. Oh yeah, so I saw him go by. He rode right by me.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what? Let me take a look back because I started running. I looked back with the camera, and lo and behold, here he is trying to run towards me. And I took out my gun real quick. He fired off one shot and just boom, right in the head. And
oh boy!
And then I proceeded to put down his horsey.
Oh man!
You gotta roll around with a gang.
The old yeller did.
Yeah. Maybe we'll call we should call our gang something, the North Gang or something. I don't know, the North Boys. Something like that.
We come from the snowy mountains.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool. Dan, where can we find
look
you?
at the beard. This is really kind of like, letting this one go, beard. Right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just I'm just letting it grow right now. And it's a nice trim.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm mostly just online here, but you can find me at Shanks Muchley if you ever want to play a match or something. And
Shanks Muchley, folks.
That's right. We should all include
Muchley.
Yeah, we will. We will. Yeah.
Well, you can find me at Fall Scott if you want to add me. Play anything. I play a lot of Destiny and probably moving on from something besides gym. I think I've got 2 more levels left. So, and the Ascent is coming. So anyone who wants to jump onto the Ascent,
I will join because
been really waiting for that game. I've been waiting for that game. Legitimately.
Yeah, I think it's coming in like 12 days. I'm going to say the 27th or something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
It's soon.
Yeah, it'll be great. The Ascent and then the Flight Simulator. You can also find me at Captain Rave 9166. And please invite me to any game that's not MLB The Show, and I will consider that invite for sure. But yeah, this is the Xbox North podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a good one.
For 2 months now.
2 months. This is our 8th episode. Holy
moly.
We're hardy in.
Favorite number.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.